Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I know a lot of you know what this is just by the title. But yeah, SK52 with a lid that doesn't want to stay up. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this guy. It's a bit of a basket case. The ring off that's come off. The ring for the 45 adapter. But yeah, that lid stays up. As you can see, a lot of age damage. It's like somebody spilt that Coke on there, Coca-Cola or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's a veneer chip right there. That's because somebody took the legs off and then dragged it around. So the veneer's off there. This is very dirty. But yeah, we'll see how far we actually get on this video, because I know it powers up as per the previous owner, but we don't know what works, and it looks like it's been stored in a basement. There's a lot of moisture stuff on here, and look at this. This is kind of weird, right where the breaker is, but somebody's been clawing at this. God knows what it was. Yeah, so I'm going to take all this stuff out. I'm even going to take the speaker boards out, I think, because this cane stuff is not too good. And I think I'm going to take the whole thing to Barry at Interior Touch-Ups, who I've used before, does amazing work, and probably do the whole cabinet. But first of all, we got to figure out if this thing actually works okay. So I'm going to start gutting this whole thing. All right, so excuse me, we've unplugged a bunch of stuff here. So this was the power and audio out from the record player. So unplugged those and threaded them through the hole. And then here we have the amplifier stuff. So this is the power and stuff to the amp from the tuner and preamp section, and that is the audio in. So we pulled those out, and there's also a little cable clip to the reverb amp, which is right here. We'll take that out eventually, quarter screws. So we'll unplug this, boom, that one, and then this guy right there. Don't forget, you're gonna take photographs, make notes, labels, but if you've done this for the first time, make sure plenty of photographs where all this stuff goes. I've done it so many times now, I don't need to do that. Also, I have a video right here that's going to help me if I ever get stuck. These are 5/16. We're going to take these out. There's one, two, I think there's a couple on the back side that you can't see, and there. And then this should just pop out. Okay, I've got my trusty DeWalt with a magnetized 5/16 socket. Sometimes likes to work. But yeah, there you go. This is handy for the ones at the back which you can't see. So yeah, when you've got those out and it doesn't move, it's because of that guy right there. Not all of them, not all of them have this. Sorry, I tried hard to get the camera in there. Not all of them have this single, hang on. That guy right there, not all of them have it, but this one does. And now you should be able to move it. There you go. But that's the secret one that stops it from coming out. Audio outs. You got these guys right here, left, right, and ground. And then tucked over here is the infamous third channel right there. So mark these, how they should go back together. And they actually are stamped on the chassis, but take a photo and then you'll be absolutely certain. So that guy, and also somewhere, as he tries to find it, is the lights right there. That's the cabinet lights, and the on-off light right there, so you know the thing's running. Sorry, I'm kind of making ham-fisted of that guy. So you're gonna unplug those, and then it'll pop out. Okay, so we got that pulled out. I forgot to mention that you are going to unscrew this from the cabinet because it is hardwired into here, whereas this one, sometimes they tap off this, but this one is hardwired, and this one has its own tap. That's the the interior light for the record player. But I thought I'd show you, once you got it out here. Yeah, it's had creatures living in here. So that's rat poop, mice poop, and you find this a lot. But yeah, it's gonna need a complete gutting. Yeah, and while we're here, you're gonna take this guy off, 1/4 inch right here. But label these well. These are the, this is the vibrasonic amp, and these are the speaker outputs for it. So make sure that these get marked well, because you don't want to mix them up with the other guys. Okay, so let's talk about the whole tuner section coming out. First thing you want to do is undo the FM antenna right there, and then there's 2 screws, one there and one on the other side. You only have to undo one, and then this guy slides off. So I think you just undo, and then it just slips off. And you need to follow this guy here, and that's the tape input, and pull that. The antenna on the back, you can actually then just unplug them right there, because this is obviously hardwired to the tuner. So yeah, 1, 2, and then it just slides one way or the other and pops off. Then everything else is kind of pretty simple. You've got 1, 2, same on the other side, and then you got these hooks, 1, 2, same on the other side. Now these pop off, and then you just literally lift them off, and they just kind of like gripping the thing down. And then once you've done those, both sides, you'll be able to just lift this straight out. Oh, don't forget the vibrasonic control. Unplug that guy right there. So yeah, there's the antenna and tape input plate. As you can see, you just have to undo those 1/4 inch there, and it just slides over. Now, I'm just gonna pull this, because otherwise you have to pull this out, then you pull that out. So I'll just pull those spade ends there for the antenna. Okay, so with everything undone, and those hold down hooks removed, we're gonna get ready to pull this guy out. It's usually a good idea to get this all wrapped up and secured somewhere, because I guarantee you when you lift this guy out, that will get caught up. So we'll place that right there like that, and get ready to get it out. Okay, before we pull the tuner, I did adjust this spring so this guy stays up, and you adjust it right there, that screw, up or down to increase the tension of the spring. Do it when it's so there's no tension on the spring, which is in the up position. And that should help me clear that. Okay, with everything out the way with regards to cables, I'm going to try and, as you can see, get this thing. That's the light baffle, and as you can see, it's heavy. There we go, get your fingers underneath there. And now you can see why we did those cables up the way we did. All right, so we got everything on the bench, as you can see. Now, when I picked this up from the previous owner, it was powered up, so there's no reason to do a variac, slowly bring it up and protect everything, because it's already was playing and it was kind of making some kind of weird noises. So we don't need to do that. It's just fine there. It didn't work very well, but it kind of worked. As you can see, a lot of dirt on this. I try to save this label. That's what it's supposed to look like. So before I do anything, I'm actually going to pull these tubes, check them all out, just give this a clean up, because all these pins need to be cleaned out, and these need to be cleaned up and everything. So everything makes a good contact for when I do try and get some audio out of it. So I'm going to I'm going to give this a clean up before I start recapping, because I'm kind of concerned about this guy. It was making some weird noises with that, because the preamp tubes there, the 12AX7s, they might be shot, and or the FM section. But we can always put an audio in for the tape input right there. All right, so I'm going to get busy with that. Oh, I did forget to mention that when you pull these tubes, be careful. This SK52, for some reason, has these 6 BM8s right here. That's the output tubes for the audio, but on the third channel, these are 6 BQ5s. I'm pretty sure they're not interchangeable, so make sure, or they might be, but make sure you don't mix them up. So pull, because you haven't got that guy anymore. You might have it, but I don't, to tell me where the tubes will go. So just make a note. Obviously the 12AX7's right here is going to be fine. There's only the one, yeah. So yeah, don't get those guys mixed up with those guys. Okay, I cleaned up a little bit better. I got some of the dirt off. And what I do now is I kind of clean these tubes up. Since learned that these, because I got the dirt off, and these are actually ECL82s, is the Euro version, ECL82, and I'm pretty sure I've got some in there if I need them. I haven't tested the tubes because this thing powered up, and we'll just see what happens, you know, grid-wise when they light up. But what I do is now, as I get contact cleaner, and I basically spray it in each one of these, and as I spray it, I then put in the corresponding tube and give it a little wiggle, and that basically blasts the dirt down. Okay, we're all cleaned up. Tubes are in. I cleaned these guys up a bit as well. Speakers hooked up, as you can see. Don't let them touch. But also put some resistance on the third channel. I made this guys up for that specific reason, especially when I'm doing oscilloscope work, because you don't want to hear the beep from that guy going through speakers. So this is for that purpose. Creates a resistance there so you don't blow that thing up, because normally there'd be a third channel speaker on there, the big 15-inch woofer. So that's what that's for. Even if you just put your speaker on while you're, you know, goofing around with this stuff. As I said before, this has been powered up before. I don't need to do a variac on it, dim bulb test or any of that stuff. So anyway, I always turn the light off so I can see what I'm doing there. Let's turn this guy off. There we go. And yeah, let's fire it up and see what happens. I've got it plugged into my ISO pack there, transformer isolation thing, and I think we're all good. Nothing's touching. I'll turn this guy on right here. You know what, I'm going to cut for a minute and turn this other light off. Okay, we're back. So let's see these tubes glow up, if you know what I mean. All right, here we go. That's good, lights on there. Stuff's happening there. Nothing's going mental right now. Let's get some audio going. So we have audio. Just not very good audio. Very weak. Yeah. Something definitely up with the FM section. Let's turn it down, go to AM. Oh, there's something. But no audio. All right, this is going to take a little bit more testing right here. There's something there very weak, and we do have an antenna hooked up. Anyway, I'm going to turn off and do a bit more investigating here, but we are good. I might put in another source into tape and see what we've got, but as far as we know, the FM section, radio section, is not working well. All right, to be continued. Okay, so I put the internet right there into the tape input, and we'll see if we get anything that way. At least find out if that's working all right. Here we go. Okay, we're on. Heating up. We're on tape. That's a good sign, but nothing coming out of the left side. So, more investigating. Okay, so we did some more testing here, and I ended up having to clean the balance switch out there, and also volume controls and this control, and we do now have audio on the left side. Unfortunately, I can't share it with you because it's not cleared for YouTube, and I'll probably have to mute the other part that I did previously. But we do have nice audio, but we don't have any FM radio. And I swapped this tube out, the ECC85, that ain't it, and cleaned it up, did a lot more cleaning. So we don't have any FM, and it's a common problem with these boxes, and I think it's silver mica disease they suffer from, and taking one of these off is a bear, which I'll show you. So I'm going to swap some more tubes out, and hopefully it's really more of a tube issue than that box itself. But as for the amp itself, it sounds really good. I'll share that with you obviously if we complete this thing. But yeah, something to do with the stereo switch in there was stuck, I believe, and it was stuck on the right channel. All right, no more waffling, let's get on working. Okay, so did a lot of tube testing, swapping out, checking, what have you, and we still have the same issue. No FM, actually not really AM either. So there's only really, that's nothing to do with it. We're going to change it out, but that's nothing to do with it, because that's coming off the preamp 12AX7 tubes. Probably cleaning them up. That's nothing to do, that's AM. So it's not a cap electrolytic per se, but I did start poking around, and what I did see is this guy, this ceramic, it's split, and probably because this has been sitting on it all its life, this big ass cement resistor right here, and probably was transferring heat to this, and then eventually just split open. I'm hoping it's this guy. I shorted open and is probably not letting anything else do its work because it's really close to the FM box, which is right there. I haven't looked at the schematic. I'm just going to take a wild guess and check that out. Okay, so I cut that guy off, and as you can see, it's a 0.1, and it literally just fell apart in my hand. So that was open, not doing its job. So keep our fingers crossed. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so that was not it. That was wishful thinking. So I had another ceramic in stock, put it in there, but yeah, nada on the radio, on the FM. So more digging is needed. Okay, so after a lot of prodding and pokering and all that good stuff, tube checking, tube testing, tube swapping, I'm convinced, as you can hear that is garbled radio. It's kind of stuck on the strongest channel, and this is the tuning cord for the FM, and nothing's changing. So I think this box is the issue, and it doesn't surprise me because I've actually got 2 or 3 up in storage with the same problem, but I've never took one of these off yet. So guess what? I've got nothing to lose. So I'm gonna take that guy off. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna get this FM box, and you can see why it's a major pain to do. I've never done one until now. Because basically, all this has gotta come off because it can't go through the slot. They did a really good job of sealing this unit. If you can hope that's focusing. So yeah, so label, photograph, painstakingly take all this off so that I can flip it over the other side and get inside there. All right, so So between the last cut, there was the weekend, and I thought I'd do some investigating on the silver mica disease, SMD, which is found in these old radios and consoles. And basically, there's a disc right here on the bottom of these IF cans, which is made of silver mica, because it back then was a very stable capacitor, so nothing would shift, so the alignment wouldn't shift. Well, this one hasn't been in the greatest environments, and apparently they do corrode, and these are all corroded, I believe, because when I press down on this guy, on the inside here, this screwdriver, when I press down on the inside here, it came back to life. So that obviously, that disc down there is making connection now, better, but not really better, because as you can see, every other one is also corroded. So, it's a big job. Is it worth it? Is broadcast radio ever going to be around for too long? Probably not. So I went to my storage, because like I said before, I've got a bunch of these with the same problem, and I got this guy out. Yeah, same exact chassis, but look, I actually labeled it Good FM, but it's got a bad volume pot. So what are we going to do? We're going to put the volume pot, where is it, this guy, into this guy, because we ain't going to get radio on this guy, and for the amount of work to get it, to me, is just not worth it, especially when broadcast radio is probably going to disappear very soon, because everybody listens over the internet.
I'm fairly sure that I'm pigpen, right?
All right, swapped them over. That's the bad FM, good FM. We have radio.
Tell the people what we heard in that first set. We had a lot
but
of
as you
stuff
can see, the
actually
volume
of,
control, listen.
DJ BC's,
Goes weird.
remixer, mashup, artist,
And then it comes back in on the
bootlegger,
right.
and he puts together a compilation called Fantastic.
So we got a flat spot.
He's done Winter Winter Mash.
But guess what? We are good to go. I'm sorry, trying to fix that is going to be a nightmare and really not worth it. So volume pot into this guy, and we are good to go. All right. We are equal on both channels. So yeah, took the pot out of this guy. There's the old one, that's the NG one, and put the good one into this guy, and we are good to go. All right, onwards and upwards. So quick break here to take some more stuff out as I get this ready for refinishing. And these are just push fits. You just tap them out from underneath with a little hammer, and they just pull out. That's a vibrasonic control. And put that there gently. And the same with this guy. Just tap it over, then you have to give it a wiggle to pull it out. Now, emblems. They're nice, aren't they? But they're better when they're cleaned up. So I'll give these a good clean. Okay, well they cleaned up a lot nicer. I used good old Brasso here, old toothbrush, and a bit of very fine wire wool, like 00. And they come up quite nice. Okay, that cleaned up quite nicely. So this is all done, ready to go. Got some nice sparkly knobs right there. Moving on to this, I don't think I'm going to mess with this. This is terribly, terribly stained. The ring that came off was all bent up, and it's a little corrosion pitting. I think I have another one, a better one in storage. So we're going to do a big job on this guy with all new wood finishing and cloth. It needs a better turntable than that. So we'll get on with that. Meanwhile, I'll probably do the amp. This is working nicely, but I'll recap that. You've seen me do those before, but I'll probably give you a rudimentary what I'm going to do to it. And then we go over to here. So now we're going to get the speaker boards out. So there's the big 15-inch. That comes out because we're going to replace the black cloth behind it, in front of it, I mean, because they're going to finish the other side. And now we're going to do the boards. It's basically screws and the whole thing will come out. Please, 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 photographs of the wires, mark them, label them, because as you can see, there's a lot of going on there and you don't want to get it all mixed up, especially with the vibrasonic connections. This is the sound reverb, baffle, whatever you want to call it, for the turntable that goes there. Stops that sound waves bouncing up through here and hitting it, or is it the other way around? Anyway, so we're going to take it out. It is stapled on, as you can see, because we've got to get this board out. So just pop these staples off, and then I'll clean it up and I'll pop it in with a air stapler later. Okay, that was the baffle that was there. I tried to get it out gently, but it just fell apart. It's just cardboard paper, so it rotted. So yeah, there's the other speakers, and now's a good time to really talk about making sure, even I've done a bit of labeling, especially on the vibrasonic side, because a lot of this stuff goes through that guy. And right there you have the interior light for the record player, but also you have a channel balance verifier. And what this does is it's basically cuts out a channel so you can listen to one channel and the other while it's off, and you can basically with your ear make sure that they're kind of equal. Kind of a gimmicky thing, not too bad, but your speaker connections go through this. It's missing this one right here, the one that says right, but I have another one in stock, so I'll probably swap it out. That comes off easily. You pop this off, and then as you can see underneath there's the bracket. So what I'll do is I'll actually disconnect the vibrasonic speaker connections, which are right here. I'm going to disconnect those because I've already labeled them with this guy right here. Same over here, and that'll free up a little bit more to figure out where everything else goes, because you can see it's a bit of a nest right now. A quick cut to mention that I will put some foam in here to take care of what the cardboard was doing. So yeah, with all the wires undone now, you got to thread them all up through this hole. We'll pop the plastic off, the diffuser, take those off, and the lamp bracket will pop out. And then just basically you're going to do these screws, 1, 2 is kind of hard to see. Undo those, and then you're going to thread these cables up through the hole with your labels. Okay, so because I'm swapping out the verifiers, because this guy is broken, the thing's missing. I'll show you more about that. I thought I'd transfer my labeling over now rather than later. But yeah, on closer look to this guy, when I pulled it out, they broke this sliding switch. Basically all this does is just grounds out the speaker left, right, or center channel. Just grounds it out so you can hear the other ones and balance them up to your ear. Well, they broke this, so what they did, they just cut it off and then put it on the center channel. At the end of the day, you'd have to really have to do nothing, I guess. I have to look more. But anyway, it's funny what you find. As you can see, mine are all good. And this is the one that's going in, because this one's busted. Oh, and now you've got this out. Now's a good time to clean those switches out with a contact cleaner. Okay, so now time to break out the speakers on their boards. As you can see, there's like some screws right there on the black board. We're going to undo those. We'll take the big guy off with the 1/4-inch nuts right there. I think I might leave this in mounted. It's not really doing anything and harming anybody, and everything's kind of tickety-boo. So I think I might stay. And then you got the smaller board right there, same thing. Kind of worried about the black behind this, because the black cloth because this looks like it's integrated into the structure, so that might be a tough one. Anyway, okay, so we got the speakers out, as you can see, and it's getting a little tricky now. I had to loosen this mount. You have to take the screw out and whack it with a hammer to loosen it so I could get the speaker board out, because it wouldn't come, because they made it just tight enough. Now, we got the speaker boards out, but now we got the grill cloth boards. Yeah, it's all separate. As you can see, that screw right there. So this is screwed to the frame, and I think this is the frame right there. To come round, this frame, it's a separate piece. So I think I have to take out this whole piece to get that board off. And I got to get it off because Barry at Interior Touch-Ups needs bare components so he could do his wood finish thing. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, bit of a bear. Okay, that was not easy. These screws right here are very recessed to hold the frame in. I had to use this long screwdriver to kind of get skinny along that side there, which means I had to remove this block, tuner mounting block. So yeah, not easy. There's the speakers for you. And as you can see, yeah, the grill cloth board is mounted to the frame of the exterior of the decorative frame of the console. Yeah, it's a bit of a McGilla, this one. Okay, so yes, this was screwed to this guy. As you can see, I've marked it, top right, top right. I'm gonna put this back on here. There's the gaping hole. I'm gonna put that back on there with a couple of, see if we can get it down properly, with a couple of screws. So that Barry can see it and have it, because he might take it off. He's got to match it to the rest of it. But yeah, this is a bit of a McGilla. It's a nice cabinet. It's well made. It's Drexel. Very well made. But yeah, taking it apart is not easy. So the same's going to happen. That whole frame's got to come off. Same thing with that. But you know what? I'm really confident about the end result. Hey, you remember me telling you about keeping the tank in there? Not going to happen. I've got to get those screws to get this big bugger out. Yeah, so that's coming out as well. And same kind of with this thing. Hey, also, while we're here, this is why we were doing this, because that's the dirt. This is the original. It's very bright and nice, and that's the dirt over the years accumulated. So that's why we're replacing this, because it looks like crap. Okay, so we got the Vibrasonic tank out, and while it's out, check those compression bulbs right there. It even tells you what number they are, which is very nice. Just pull them out and check continuity. I'm really glad I did pull this out, and for why is, turn it this way, there's only one spring. Is that deliberate? Because where would it go? There was no room for it to fall out, I don't think. So is that less Vibra with one spring? I'll have to do some investigating. It's funny though, this was made by the Hammond Organ Company. So yeah, I've got to figure that one out. Because it's supposed to be two springs, so I'll do some investigating in the old inner web. But I do have a couple of these up in the old cabin of storage, so we're not lost. Okay, so with that out now, I can get these screws, and we're going to take this big boy off right here. I don't need to show you that one. I've done it before, but the other screws are right there, as you can see, and then we'll get that guy off. So yeah, we're almost close to being naked. Okay, so we got the left side board out, and once again I'll separate it. This one the big 15-inch woofer board I'm kind of worried about, but as you can see now, which I never really realized before, every single one of these screws is holding one of the vertical slats in. We're horizontal the wrong way right now. So I am not going to take those off. That is asking for trouble. I'm sure Barry can do his magic with it in situ. I hope so, because basically he's repairing this dent and then giving it a good cleanup. So that'll go as is. I decided to take the other one off and keep everything separate. As you can see right here, I'll take them separate, but there you are. That's a gutted SK52. And next we'll be going to Barry at his shop. Barry,
How are we doing?
is it okay if I video this for my channel?
Yes,
How are you guys?
very good. How are you?
Oh my God, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Whoa. Kenny, right? Or Kevin?
Ken, Ken.
Ken,
How you doing?
thank you very much
Yeah.
for all your superior work.
You can take this with you, but I put this on here because of your nails that are sticking out here.
Yeah, great, thank you.
I like bringing back new life to antiques.
And how long you been doing this?
Over 30 years.
Really?
I was
It shows.
in the carpenters union for a long time, doing cabinetry, and then I gave up the union.
Yeah,
Wasn't working for me anymore.
Right.
You know, they didn't have our backs when we needed it. But anyways,
Well,
so I
you
moved
do-
on and
Steve, I'm wrapping this,
okay,
and then because you got those nails. So
yes.
just take this pad.
I will, I'll bring it back next time I'm over here.
Yeah. Take this.
Oh, there's the frames there.
These are the frames.
I'll put them in the car. Beautiful. Oh, how did you manage on that mark on there?
We filled them.
Oh my God.
We filled them. Wow. We could have went more, but
No,
we
no,
were
no.
afraid of that
Yeah,
stuff in there.
thank you.
So we didn't want to build up.
Yeah.
So we did it. Then we went back and did a little more. Then we went back and I said, Ken, can you just do this? And he goes, okay. So we did it, but yeah.
Awesome job.
So we put a little time into that baby.
Beautiful.
So
All right, guys. Well, what can I say? As usual, you knocked it out of the park. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. Okay. There she is. She's back. As you can see from the previous cut there with the guys, she's back in the workshop, and what an amazing job. Just look at that finish. Absolutely gorgeous. They even, if we lift up here, they even did the insides, everything. It's just gorgeous. I even put the emblems back in there because I couldn't wait to get started. So yeah, we're going to start putting it back together now. I've ordered new grill cloth. It's not going to be cane. You can't get cane. I've tried. I've looked everywhere. Even the Coostone don't do it. So we're going to go with a different cloth. I hope you approve. I think it's going to be great. So yeah, we'll get the boards done here when the cloth arrives. There's another tank there. We'll talk about that later. We talked about that. That's done. And here's the frames. So yeah, amazing job. Time to put it back together. And we're going to get started on this right now. Okay, so we know this worked previously and we give it a nice cleanup, but now we're going to recap it, and I am going to chop that off. Now, I know the guys from the Old Farts Radio Club are always giving me stick about doing this because it's like, well, you know, you could stuff that can. I said, no, I'm never stuffing cans ever again. Did it one time. Oh, you could put it all underneath there. Really? I gotta get those three big guys in that space there? No. I'm gonna do it the way I've always done it. I'm gonna chop it off, which I've done in previous videos. I'll actually try and put the link here. So we're gonna chop that guy off, and then we're gonna put those guys in here. And I have no problem with it because this is gonna be buried deep in here. It's not on your desktop. It's not on the top surface. You can't even see it. And I need it to work flawlessly and well and last a long time. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, done. Like I said, I did put a link up where you can see how I did this. But yeah, much easier than trying to jam everything in there and stuff I can. Now I will test this with this before I put it in there. But right now I can't do anything like that until I get the speakers back in. Okay, so now we're waiting for grill cloth to arrive. That's been ordered. We're going to swap out these crossover caps right here. I'm pretty sure these are 5s. See if I can bend that back over there. Can you see that? I think it's hard to see, but anyway, that's a. Oh, that is rubbed off. Hang on, what's this? Yeah, it's a 5. So we're going to replace it with these little 4.7s. Isn't that amazing, the size? Just look at that. So anyway, I'll just cut some cable, trim it, and make it nice and tight. But yeah, we'll basically put those 4.7s in there. Okay, so we got those swapped out on both sides. And while we got it on the benches, a good time to check the ratings on these guys. 8s, I think that's a 15 or 14. But I've got this one hooked up, and we'll check it out. Here we go. Perfect. Anyway, I'll do the rest, and if they're all good, tally ho. Okay, back to the reverb unit. So we've got this little reverb amp right here. That's a 400. Sorry, wrong. That's a 10 UF. Rated at 400, which I'll be able to fit underneath there, so there'll be no chopping. And there's another little guy. Figure what that. Can we see what it is? Something that's 50 volts. But anyway, be a third of the size of that guy, so I'll be able to fit that in there and there quite easily, and we'll give it a clean up. Check those tubes as well. And yeah, do you remember the tank, the reverb tank that was missing a spring? Well, I did have one up in storage, the exact same model. So I don't know if I use this one or just move the springs over. But anyway, we are good to go on reverberation. Okay, so we got that recapped, a little tied in there, but stuff done. And then we'll check those tubes out, and then we'll get it back into here. As you can see, I've already got the replacement tank. I ended up, what did I end up doing? Oh, the original tank, the mounts broke, so this is the replacement tank with springs. The little springy mount things broke. Old stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're slowly getting there. Okay, so the cloth has arrived. This is from Newcastle Fabrics, as FR-1003. As you can see, I've used this many times before. It's real acoustic cloth, and the reason I like it is because it's got that kind of mid-century grain. I hope it'll match well with that guy, because like I said, that's normally cane. Good luck finding anything decent that's not just hard plastic. Anyway, you've seen me do this before. We're basically going to spray a bit of glue. We'll cut this to size, then we're going to use staples with the compressor and the gun there, and staple it on. I've done it before in other videos, so I'll show you the finished items. Okay, so yeah, we did some glue, we did some stapling. Here's the left side, and you can see why I marked these now. On the frame, put a bit of cloth underneath there to protect the wood. But yeah, so far so good. What I didn't realize though is when I stapled this thing on, there's holes underneath here. Where's my finger? There it is. There's holes underneath here to mount this to the board. Obviously, they were way more frugal than I. So I did these little hash marks right here, and that's where, as you can see, the hole will line up. Put your finger on there and you'll feel the dent. But that's where each hole lines up. To mount it, whatever you do, make sure you use the right screws, because if you'll go through the other side if you use the wrong ones, and there's a lot, as you can see. All right, let's crack on. So you're probably wondering what I'm doing with this guy and these guys. Well, we're cleaning the ends. This one is oxidized because it was on the outside surface. So as you can see, we have that one in there. Imagine looking at that one right there. Yeah, it's attention to detail, especially when you're going to be selling this on. You want it to be look its best, so that's what we're doing, cleaning screws. Okay, we're in. Very, very, very happy with the way that turned out. There is a darker cloth, another shade darker, but then I think it would just be uniform and pretty blah. I think that pops real, real nice. And don't forget, you'll see that the grain goes this way with the slats right there with the grill. So yeah, time to start putting things back together. Okay, starting to put things back together. We got the speakers back in there, tuner unit, starting to hook things up. I'll tidy the cables up, make them way better. But yeah, it's starting to come back together, which is very nice. But yeah, do you remember that turntable? The record changer? The original one was pretty bad. But anyway, I had this in storage. It's a lot more presentable. It's a Voice of Music turntable branded for Motorola. Plenty of videos on this you've seen me doing before, so we didn't go to that. But what I did do is I put a new cartridge in there. That's a Fan Steel 228, P228. It's a straight fit, but as you can see there, we had to put new clips on the tone arm wire, so soldered those on there. And then, yeah, Fan Steel P228 sounds pretty good on the tube unit. You will have to adjust the tracking weight, but originally it was a Sonotone, I think it was an 8T, but we took that out and put something new in there. So yeah, so we'll get that back in. Okay, we're all put back together and we're done. Oh, nice kick off that beautiful shiny surface right there. Yeah, everything's back in there. That's the AM antenna, Vibrasonic. Yeah, all done. I've even got my Bluetooth stuff ready to Bluetooth it. So yeah, all put back together, and as you can see, big change, the big difference from when it first arrived. I won't play anything right now because it's got to be cleared by you know who. So, but yeah, very pleased with how this turned out. Got the changer in there. But yeah, I will do a separate video of it playing as a demonstration. But there you go, it's an SK52, completely restored, serviced, what have you. Thank you so much for watching.